There's no glass roof, or I should say, there is a glass roof, but they covered it for the budget model. It's still glass over the top, but on the inside, you can't see through it. It's covered with liner.
Headliner. Mm-hmm. You poor person.
Yeah, you don't get to see the sun. No sun for you.
Yeah, we take the sun away from the poor.
A $5 subscription, and someone comes and takes the headliner off.
If you ever don't pay it, they just come and smash the glass.
Welcome, everyone, to the Bose Bros podcast. I'm Mason.
I'm Jordan.
And today we're going to be starting off with our discussion segments.
Okay. So you want to start?
Yeah, I'll start. So first up, we have the news. So if you're at all interested in cars and you've been following kind of the supercar, I say community, but enthusiasts, you know what the Lexus LFA is. And evidently, we have more news and developments regarding to the successor to the LFA, which is codenamed. This is not official Lexus, but people are calling it the LFR, right?
I thought it was an official name. It's not?
As far as I know, correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but as far as I know, it's not officially the LFR.
LFR is pretty cool, though.
It is cool. It's close enough that you understand it's like...
It's a successor. Mm-hmm. More than the, LC500? The LC500 is sort of the baby brother to the LFA. Mm-hmm. And I do love the look of the LC500. That's absolutely my kind of vibe of a big GT cruiser. Mm-hmm. If I had the money, I'd own one. But apparently this is supposed to be a brand new V8.
Yep.
Ground up V8. Now, my heart belongs to that V10. Mm-hmm. And it's kind of a shame that they don't have a V10 in here. But the fact that they're designing a new V8 right now is kind of crazy.
Yeah, that was rumored. They officially, Lexus themselves confirmed that, like within the last couple of days, that they are making a brand new V8.
Yeah, that's really cool.
So prototypes of this vehicle have been seen at the Nürburgring, various other racetracks.
That means they're pretty far along.
Yeah, they're doing testing for it.
Would you rather have a naturally aspirated 600 horsepower car or a turbocharged 800 horsepower car?
Naturally aspirated.
Same.
Yeah.
Same. I would totally take naturally aspirated and take a huge horsepower drop just to not have to deal with turbo lag and whatnot and all the complexity.
Well, the rumors suggest it's a twin turbo V8 that will have in the neighborhood of 500 or 900 horsepower.
Yeah, if it's 900, then there's no way it's naturally aspirated.
So it's supposed to be related to the GR GT3 concept. Apparently, those are being developed kind of like similar to the Mustang GT3 and then the GTD. Mm-hmm. They're being kind of developed together. You have the race version and then the road-going version. From what I understand, it's kind of the same thing. The LFR will be the street-legal version of that GT3 car.
Gotcha. Okay. Do you have any in here the information about the Toyota Mazda venture?
Yes.
Okay, cool. I'll let you get to it then.
Yep. Yeah, so this will serve as a halo car for Lexus, similar to how the LFA did. And just like the LFA, it is expected to be very expensive.
The LFA was $380,000 when it came out, which was more than any Ferrari at the time, except for the specialty ones like the Enzo and whatnot. But more than any regular production Ferrari. Yeah,
this one's rumored to be north of $500,000, which in modern
now
dollars is about equivalent to what that was when it came out.
Yeah, it's still more than... You know, what's funny is the LFA sort of laid the groundwork for that. Though the people balked at the idea that they'd spend the money on a Japanese luxury brand supercar. They kind of it was laughable. Now you can't even approach an LFA under $2 million now.
Yeah.
So
I think it's more to do with the scarcity.
Well, yeah, but also because they're worth it. Even with the single clutch automated manual, they're as a feat of engineering, they're worth it. So that precedent has been set for if you spend more on this than your equivalent run-of-the-mill pedestrian Ferrari or Lamborghini, if you're willing to spend the extra coin on this Lexus, then it's going to be worth it for you in the long run. Mm-hmm. So now I think they will, as they had a hard time selling the LFA, I don't think they're going to have that problem with this one.
Probably not, because people saw how beloved the LFA became.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So they showed what you're seeing here on screen is the Sport Coupe concept they showed off in August, which is not necessarily an official car, but it kind of gives an idea of like the brand's design language and the direction they're going. So between that and the spy photos we've seen at the Nürburgring, you could have a decent idea of what this car will probably look like. The name LFR was trademarked by Toyota Lexus, so
Maybe.
yeah.
Maybe.
All right. Toyota Century. Did you hear about the Century news?
No.
So, for those that don't know, Toyota is your mainstream brand. Lexus is the luxury brand above Toyota, if you want to think of it that way.
Created for the American market.
Yeah. So you have, similar to how you have like Chevy and Cadillac, right? They're built in the same facilities, use a lot of the same drivetrain components, but you have the mainstream model and the luxury version. They are making Century its own brand above Lexus.
Okay. I didn't know that. I know that they made a Century SUV and a Century sedan, but they're now going to make like a line of vehicles?
A line of vehicles, including this new coupe. This is not a ChatGPT image. This is an actual concept image.
Certainly looked like a ChatGPT image.
Yep. So you can see that the Phoenix on the front.
Screaming chicken.
Screaming chicken. So this is their coupe.
That's an odd one to give the boxy luxury vehicle styling to a two-door. I mean, it never looked good. I don't like the two-door Rolls Royces. I've never liked the look of them. They are supposed to be big sedans, and I think this one suffers from the same thing. This doesn't get me excited.
Oddly, Toyota said this is a car you're meant to be driven around in, which doesn't make a ton of sense to me.
What is it, a 2+2, or you got a...
On some angles, it looks really good. It's hard to tell from this angle, but it's actually really tall. And this is just a concept. This came shortly after the news that they were making Century its own brand, which I think makes sense. Outside of Japan, the Century doesn't carry the same like acknowledgement that like Lexus does. Like,
You can get a really nice Toyota Century for like 25 grand.
yeah. Well, and Centuries are in luxury a step above a Lexus. There's not the same care.
I would put them... I've sat in a Rolls Royce and been disappointed by how things are put together and the materials inside.
Yeah.
I would not expect to be disappointed in a Century. And I would put them at least on par with Rolls Royce as far as interior quality and attention to detail. They are up there. And the fact that you can get your hands on one for $25,000 because they're, importable now that they're 25 years old is insane.
Yep.
And they have a V12.
The newer ones have a V8.
Right.
And as far as I know, they'll continue with that. Although the SUV got the 6-cylinder, I believe.
I don't know.
But regardless, yeah. So they're going to make Century its own brand. I have a note in here. They're trying to make it a Japanese Rolls Royce and try to make it a world market offering. So you'll have Toyota, you'll have Lexus, and you'll have Century. And they already have the car, the sedan, the SUV, and then now, if these concept images or anything to go off, they'll now have kind of a sporty coupe.
Yeah. Okay, well, cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Land Cruiser FJ. Do you see this?
No, I haven't been keeping up on anything. I've been in Louisiana for 2 weeks.
Yeah. So this is a baby Land Cruiser called the Land Cruiser FJ.
I hope it goes over better than the baby Wrangler, which is the...
Compass?
No, the baby Compass, the Renegade.
Oh, Renegade.
The Renegade, which is just a Fiat 500L.
Yep. So FJ in this iteration stands for Freedom Joy. It didn't stand for that before, but now they're saying, oh, it's Land Cruiser Freedom Joy.
Because joy has to be in every one of their freaking names.
Exactly. We talked about that last time.
Yeah, I don't understand. Did they hear it and go like, all right, get ready for this?
Yep. So it was revealed as a concept in October of this year. But this is basically a production-ready vehicle. I think it's going to start in Japan next year, and then, as far as I know, it's not coming to North America. It'll come to South America and the Middle East and maybe Australia, but it's not coming to North America.
It has a weird look to the greenhouse where it looks like a... those autonomous pods that every CES show has? We're like, oh, this car will drive you to work, and you just the greenhouse gives me that vibe.
It's a small vehicle. It shares the same platform as the Toyota Hilux.
Okay.
And so it comes in two versions, two trims. one with these round headlights and the snorkel, and another trim that has more of the square headlights. They did the same treatment with the American Land Cruiser. How you can get it with the round headlights, or you can get it with the more rectangular headlights. I kind of like the more rounded classic ones personally.
Yeah, me too.
It's similar to kind of the Bronco Sport. It's meant to be like the smaller entry level Land Cruiser that's still fairly capable. This is actually far more capable than a Bronco Sport. It's got a solid rear axle. It's got a real solid rear axle. It's got a real 6-speed transmission. It's got locking differentials. Like it's actually got some decent ground clearance and can probably do some decent off-roading. More so than I think the Bronco Sport could do. But it's short. It's 180 inches long, which actually makes it shorter lengthwise than a Toyota Prius.
And that's not a big car.
No.
The new generation Prius is tiny. I don't know if you've sat in one, but I feel cramped in there.
Yeah, it's got 8.5 inches of ground clearance, a 31-degree approach angle, 102-inch wheelbase, and a little 18-foot turning circle. So, Yep, no engine or performance specs revealed yet, but
if it's not coming to the U.S., they're not going to be impressive numbers.
Yeah.
The U.S. always requires people to bump up their horsepower numbers to not be laughed at.
Yeah.
Pretty much anything under 200 horsepower gets laughed at now.
Except a Miata.
Except a Miata, because that's cool.
Speaking of, is this what you're referring to? The Toyota GR86 Miata collab?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so the most
Heard
recent...
a lot of rumors about this.
Yep, the most recent rumors are indicating that the next generation Toyota GR86 and Mazda Miata will share a platform. The ongoing understanding is that the Miata will continue to be a 2-seat roadster, and the platform will be extended, the wheelbase will be extended to make the GR86 a 2x2, which is what it currently is now. Yeah, 2 seats in front, 2 seats in rear.
They're fairly tiny seats in the back, but they do exist. Mm-hmm. Whereas they definitely don't exist. What I don't want to see is a significantly heavier Miata because it shares a platform. Because the Miata, except for the NC, the NA, the NB, and the ND, have all been on bespoke platforms. Now, the ND lent its platform to the Fiata, but the platform was designed to be a Miata, to be lightweight as possible. Mm-hmm. So if they have to keep something other than lightweight in mind while they're building it, i.e. being able to extend it and add back seats, I'm wondering if it's still going to be as lightweight. Because I think they would probably consider it a failure if it was over 2,500 pounds.
I'm optimistic because Mazda is mostly going to be in charge of the platform.
That's good news.
And they're both going to use their own 4-cylinder engines, making roughly 200 horsepower each. 4-cylinder, 2-liter engines. Mazda will use a revised version of the current engine that they're using, and they'll both have maybe 200, a little bit above 200 horsepower.
Yeah, and they were talking about replacing it with the 3-cylinder from the GR Corolla. 300 horsepower, 3-cylinder.
That'd be a rocket ship.
Absolutely.
In a car that size. That seems like way too much.
Oh, yeah. I mean, no one that has driven my car. You drove it to work the other day. Nobody that has driven my car goes, this needs more horsepower.
And the amount of power it has now, I think, is the peak of what you're going to get. Because more power means a bigger engine, or it means you need stronger bracing, or you need bigger engine mounts. Like, it's this compounding thing if you want to add a bigger engine or more power to it. Whereas the way it's designed right now, it's perfectly designed for every piece of its spec sheet. So
the guys over at Flying Miata, they, with no other modifications, not even a reflash, no tuning, nothing. They just did a cap or a mid pipe and a muffler. That's it. And with the whole thing, they picked up 20.
More than 10% of the power. You'd
Right.
notice that.
So if you go to 200 horsepower and there's no modifications other than that.
All right.
Yeah.
Speaking of the Miata, the father of the Miata sadly has passed away. So the title of father of Miata is kind of shared between two people.
Yeah, Bob something, right? And then Tom.
Bob Hall.
Bob Hall and Tom Matano. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And Bob Hall was he was a writer.
Automotive journalist.
Yeah, he's an automotive journalist that eventually started working at Mazda, and he spoke Japanese, which really helped him, push this idea, telling them you need to get into the 2-seat roadster.
To pitch the idea to Mazda.
Lightweight sports, yeah. And then Tom Matano helped with the design. and actually pushing it through. So
He's the lead designer of both the Miata and the RX-7.
and the last one he worked on was the NC1. And then they went to the NC2, which was a really big improvement over the NC1, and then the ND. And he was pretty happy with how the ND was not as heavy as the NC1 because his hands were tied having to share the RX-8 platform. Because the NC is an RX-8. You can actually bolt RX-8 hubs right onto it. There's a benefit to the fat pig of the Miata world, which is less than 2,600 pounds. It's 2,590 something. Miata owners call that a fat pig. It's still like 800 pounds less than a Civic, but
Yeah, he's got quite the resume. So he was actually born in Nagasaki, Japan in 1947. He finished university in Japan and moved to America on his uncle's container ship. That's how he got here.
really,
Yep. And he worked for GM in Detroit. They moved him to Holden in Australia. He worked for BMW and Volvo in Germany,
Jeez.
and then Mazda in Japan and in North America.
of course, there he is in an NA,
Yep.
being the father or a father.
Co-father.
A co-father of the Miata is a pretty good cherry on top of a pretty good working career. Pour one out for Tom Matano. We still got Bob Hall. Hold on to him tight.
Yep. We have a new record for the world's fastest car. So this is the BYD Yang Wang U9 Extreme. So the Yang Wang U9 is already a really impressive electric car as it is. The Extreme, as you could probably tell, is
More
the
extreme.
extreme version of that car.
Yeah,
So
so
it recently set some pretty impressive land speed records.
This version of the Yank Wang has 3,000 horsepower, right?
Well, 2,997.
I just wanted to say Yank Wang.
It reached a top speed of 496 kilometers an hour, which is a little bit over 300 miles an hour.
What I don't understand is how the tires held together.
It did this record while it was in Germany. Like it did it on a German test track. There's only a few test tracks in the world where you can get to a speed like that because you're passing a football field of road every
Quarter second. or
Yeah,
something.
like every tenth of a second or something, every half second. But while it was in Germany, they took it to the Nürburgring where it got a sub 7 second, which that's a really impressive time. That's really fast.
It's got more than double the horsepower of the ZR1 and didn't make it around in time. And engineering explained had a good video on why. Basically, this
Weight.
thing. Oh,
No,
you're saying
the
weight?
The
like you-
weight. The weight's a big factor.
The weight, yes, but also it has a discharge rate that no other battery technology has been able to match. There's actually speculation that they're just lying, which for the Chinese that wouldn't be a surprise. That's sort of their whole thing.
What? No.
So, lying and stealing intellectual property, those are like their two favorite things. So, anyway, basically, it has like 100 times the discharge rate of a Tesla.
It's a 1,200 volt architecture for what it's worth.
Yeah, but that should only get you like a 4-fold increase, and then something about like, really using superconductors. I don't understand what they're doing, but it can drain. It's got I forget the kilowatt hours of the battery, but it's like 150 kilowatt hours, and it can drain the whole thing in 2 minutes.
That seems impossible.
Right. That's why the number is 3,000, is because the output discharge rate of the batteries is such.
If it did that, it would only make that power for
2 minutes.
a couple minutes.
So you couldn't do the Nürburgring at 3,000 horsepower. Right. That's why it can't do it. That's why it can't beat the ZR1X Nürburgring.
Well, you're not using all that power all the time.
Right, which is another factor. That you basically, for a couple seconds in your 7-minute lap, you're able to use your 3,000 horsepower.
Yeah.
So what does it matter? You have 1,000 horsepower on the table minimum all the time.
Yeah. We don't have 0 to 60 or quarter mile times for it so far, but the base Yang Wang U9, the base model has 1,290 horsepower, and it has 0 to 60 of 2.36 seconds.
Slow.
And a quarter mile of 9.78. And this has more than double the horsepower of that. If they are telling the truth and it can discharge that, a quarter mile, you can definitely see every ounce of that power.
A quarter mile? Well, no, not even. Because the Sapphire has 1, 2, 3, 4 horsepower, right? The Sapphire is 1,234 horsepower from Lucid, in case anybody didn't know. And the Lucid is still traction limited.
The whole way?
The whole way. The Lucid is...
Well, maybe they have bigger tires.
Maybe they've got freaking Fred Flintstone rollers for maximum grip. I don't know. But the traction control in the Lucid is still stepping in to keep it from spinning all 4 tires at 155 miles an hour.
That's crazy. Yeah, you're tire limited at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah, the tires are impressive. The fact they can even stay on the car at 300 miles an hour. I mean, do the math. Like, what's the revolutions per second at that speed? Like, it's got to be insane.
Yeah, and then the other thing that I assume they're lying about is that a Tesla motor revs up to like 12,000 RPMs or something. That's why, and then as it gets closer to its top of its RPM range, it actually has less torque, which is why electric cars have such a low top speed. This apparently goes to like 35,000 RPM from 11 or 12. That they just have some version of this technology that can spin up to 3 times that of the world's leader in electric cars.
For what it's worth, only 30 of these are going to be sold, the extreme versions. It can also torque vector at each wheel.
You have to be a party member.
And it can adjust the suspension at each wheel. It can compress and expand the suspension at each wheel and can even do it sitting still. And it has this cool party trick where it can collapse the suspension and let it go, and the whole car can hop off the ground, which is pretty cool. 2 inches off the ground. But
2 inches is a lot.
My car can't jump. It's still pretty cool. So Stellantis is betting big on the United States. You hear about this?
Nope. Please give me some good news.
Well, it could be good news. They are making their single largest investment in the history of the company, in the history of Chrysler, North America. The biggest investment they've ever done.
In Chrysler?
$13 billion are going, and that's only for North America. It's all coming here. And it's really coming to just this sector of the United States.
If they spent $13 billion elsewhere and these tariffs stick, I don't know if they will. I have a feeling and a hope that the Supreme Court will strike them down. Putting $13 million somewhere else, billion, it's not going to work out for them if they want to make the money that the U.S. market can make. They can't import those cars anyway, so they're going to have to make them here. So that makes sense. And I guess they're betting that they can make up the extra cost of building them here by just having them more expensive.
And it's all coming to this northeastern sector of the United States, the manufacturing belt. So it's coming to really these 5 locations: Illinois, Ohio, Michigan, Indiana, in the manufacturing plants there. So that's manufacturing, operations, research, and development. They're going to reopen the Illinois Belvidere assembly plant. That's going to produce the new Cherokee and Compass. The Ohio Toledo assembly complex. They're going to assemble the all-new mid-size truck, the Dakota maybe.
Dakota's a good name. They should keep the Dakota name.
Michigan Warren Truck Assembly Plant develop an all-new range-extended EV.
All new, not the Rev?
The Rev, a truck. This is the truck plant.
Oh, but that's a large SUV.
They're also making an internal combustion large SUV. And they're making the range-extended
version.
Ram. Mm-hmm. Detroit Assembly Plant, they're preparing for the next generation Dodge Durango. So all new Durango.
Next generation Dodge Durango, 8 years too late.
Yeah. I mean, they sold 5% more this year than they did last year.
Oh my gosh. I can't understand people that get into that.
All the bugs, so to speak, have been worked out at this point.
That's true. But like when you could get into a 2017 for a tenth the price, they don't hold
and they
their
look
value.
the same.
They don't hold their value.
The Indiana Kokomo facilities, they're going to produce a new 4-cylinder engine.
Interesting. Well, I guess... Yeah, that's a big bet. That's expensive.
This represents 5 new vehicles and 19 vehicle refreshes or engine refreshes, or I should say powertrain refreshes. That's a lot.
This is a new generation of Chrysler then. Because
all of Chrysler and Dodge's products are a decade old now.
Yeah, they're all ancient.
Or they're gone.
The last time they had this kind of refresh was when they introduced the Pentastar. The 5.7 replacing the 4.7 high output, the PowerTech motors.
Well, that was back in like 2004 or 2003.
Right.
But they did switch to the Eagle heads in like
2011,
10,
somewhere in there. Yeah, but what I'm talking about is when they dropped the PowerTech motors, the 3.7 and 4.7 low output, 4.7 high output. They call it standard output. Let's be honest. It was low output. So when they stopped that V6 and the V8 pairs of those, that was previous gen. And in 1995, it was the biggest deal that they were going to those soon, and then in 6-7 years they were obsolete and horribly unreliable. I own one, and I've had to do major services to it to keep it on the road. Anyway,
Big investment.
yeah, so that generation is old. The generation we're on of all of the Chrysler products
Is at least that old by comparison, if not older by this point.
Yeah. So we're
It's overdue.
like, when you look, like, Chevrolet has put 2 entirely new Suburban and Silverado platforms. They've run out of one and then gone to another one since the Dodge Durango platform started.
At the same time, people keep buying the Durango though.
And I'm happy for Dodge that people are buying them. I want to look at those people and going, what are you doing?
It's their money.
I saw this.
The Pacifica Grizzly Peak concept. Let me paint the picture of the person that would buy this, and maybe it will make more sense. This is for the lifestyle van life person, which, okay,
Is growing.
it's growing. There's a lot of people doing that. At the same time, I don't think this is quite big enough, and they already sell the Ram ProMaster, the Sprinter. Like, they sell bigger vans for that purpose already. So why someone would choose a Pacifica over that, I don't really know.
And I can't imagine they would have the plug-in hybrid version because it would take up your storage space.
It's got a 2.8-inch lift in the front, a 2.5-inch in the rear. It's equipped with splash guards and yellow LED fog lamps, lower fog lamps in the front. They also removed the third row and added additional tie-downs and outlets in the back, like 450-watt power outlets. No word on pricing of it or availability. It is a little sad that the most exciting thing going on at Chrysler right now is a lifted Pacifica, especially for a company that this year is celebrating 100 years. Like, imagine early in the Chrysler days, like, man, I wonder where this company will be 100 years from now.
Hanging on by a thread.
By the thinnest of threads. Yeah, going back to that investment story, I didn't hear a word about Chrysler in any of that. It's all Ram, Dodge, and Jeep. Nothing about Chrysler.
I don't know that they're going to save that sinking ship.
They make the Pacifica, and as long as they're making money off it, I assume they'll keep doing it. Once the Pacifica is so outdated it needs a major refresh, I think they'll just make a new Dodge
Van. And
they'll be done with Chrysler.
They'll just sunset it.
That's what I think will happen.
Yeah. In order to get Chrysler back, what do you got to do? You gotta. What is a Chrysler in your mind? Close your eyes. Chrysler's a big luxury sedan.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
It's a Chrysler 300.
And the Chrysler 300 lived up to that nameplate and did a great job. And if they refreshed the Chrysler 300 and kept that alive, now I know in the regulatory climate they were in, that wasn't going to happen. But the regulatory climate we're in now is very different.
Just kind of retooled the Charger.
If they did that and then kept the 6-pack in it, they could do everything they needed to do and then actually make it, you have to make it impressive to get into. And that would do it. That would get your identity back. Because the Pacifica is great. It's a competitive product in its segment. It is not an identity for Chrysler. It's not even close. It shouldn't even be a Chrysler product in the first place. It should have been a Dodge Pacifica or something. If they badge engineer the Charger into something impressive when you sit in it, you have to get in it and go, why would I buy a Mercedes?
When I can buy this, which is
Right.
80% as good for half the price.
Right. No, not even. This has to, why would I get in? Why would even bother with a Mercedes if this is better at half the price? That's what it has to be. And if you can manage that, you can save Chrysler, because and it also has to have road presence like the 300 had. You noticed a 300 when it drove past you.
When it first came out, it was like, that looked like a $100,000 car.
Absolutely.
When it first came out, like in 2006, people are blown away that it was like a $30,000 car.
Yeah, absolutely. And they've got to pull that rabbit out of the hat again.
I wonder why they didn't do this new platform strategy with the 300, because I don't feel like there's the same pressure to keep the V8 in the 300 like there is with the Charger.
No, the Charger is much more
synonymous with V8
V8.
muscle car.
Right.
The 300, I would buy a 300 with the 6-cylinder.
With a straight six, yeah, I would. Totally. I would too. I wouldn't even be upset about it. I'd go.
I might even prefer it, honestly.
I don't know about that.
I wouldn't buy a new Charger because it doesn't come with a V8. I would buy a new 300 with the new straight six for sure.
You bring it out at 55,000, but then they'd be undercutting the Charger. The Charger's so expensive now that they actually can't be that competitive with it. Ooh.
Toward the end of its life, the 300 and Charger were about the same price.
Yeah, but the 300 was more for most of its run. The equivalent engine in a 300 was a good chunk of change more.
Yeah,
probably 8 or 10% more. It's something for Chrysler.
Yeah. My prediction: Chrysler will be around as long as the Pacifica is around. When not enough people are buying the Pacifica anymore,
I still stick by my 2030 prediction from a couple of years ago.
That seems really optimistic now.
That they'll make it to 2030.
That they'll make it to 2030. Speaking of the new Charger,
oh look at that!
They've officially, I guess they haven't officially, they have unofficially canceled the top of the line Banshee with new innovative 800 volt architecture, which is it's still good, but
if they came out with it 3 years ago,
yeah. Now most new vehicles, like more premium newer vehicles, are all coming out with 800 volt, or like we just saw 1200 volt in the case of the
Yankwang.
So it's not official from Dodge. They've neither confirmed nor denied the rumor. They acknowledged it and said, we have nothing to say at this time, which they had lots to say about it a couple of years ago. So that's kind of...
They would have absolutely been like, no, this is the most exciting thing we're coming out with our electric vehicle platform. Yeah, they would have been all over that.
Mopar Insiders basically said one of his insiders, who is a supplier for Dodge, said, yeah, they're not doing that anymore.
Because if you want to keep hype around a vehicle, you want to refute that kind of claim.
Yeah. It's likely due to the low sales numbers of the EV. Like I said, I've seen now 2 Charger EVs.
I've seen 4.
I predict next year, same time next year, I will see 100 times that many 6-packs. I'll probably see hundreds of them throughout the year, where I saw single-digit numbers of them.
But they're still expensive.
Not as expensive. Here's the main issue. We've said it before. No one that likes EVs wants a Dodge. No one that likes a Dodge wants an EV. If there's a Venn diagram of those two people, the circles either don't touch or touch in such a tiny sliver that you can't possibly expect to make any money off of that segment.
This was undertaken by a company backed into a corner and a company head who had a complete misunderstanding of the brand. They would have known that you either keep the V8, keep gas engines at least, you keep gas engines, or you get rid of Dodge. Because if you dump all this money into an EV project, all you're going to do is lose money. If somebody who understood what you just said about the dichotomy of EV and Dodge ownership would never have dumped the money into Dodge for an EV.
No, not at all. They're like, that's crazy. And as a Dodge, you can call me a fanboy. I'm like, maybe they'll pull a rabbit out of a hat here. Maybe they will crack the code. And honestly, if the future is EV, do I want Dodge to exist in it? I'd like to. I'd like to have some raw American attitude, some sort of car still available to fill that niche if the future truly is exclusively electric. So on one hand, I'm like, if anyone can make it work, but yeah, at least according to the sales numbers, they have not made it work.
No, I'm really hoping that the 6-pack does a better job.
Well, their big thing at the time was they said the Hemi won't fit in this new platform.
But it probably will.
Well, it actually fits after all.
Does it really?
It fits.
I love the skinnies. Oh my gosh.
The Hemi fits.
So what is this, direct connection?
This is direct connection. This is Dodge themselves.
This is actually Dodge?
Dodge themselves.
Put a Hemi in it. Oh my gosh.
It's a 5.8 liter aluminum block Hemi.
No.
With a 3 liter Whipple supercharger on top, and it still fits.
No.
Yep.
This is an aluminum block 5.7.
It's 5.8.
Well, it's 5.7 board.
5.8 and change. Actually closer to 5.9.
But they're not going to redesign the whole thing. That would be way more expensive. Making it aluminum block, though, I think the bore spacing would have to be different because you're going to have to cut out and sleeve.
But it is an aluminum block.
And
Hemi.
maybe it's not a 5.7. If they designed an aluminum, but then it might not be. Oh, there's a lot because it might not be designed for production. It might be designed for a one-off.
That's what these are. These are the drag packs. So Dodge sells these to customers as drag packs.
No, like the whole car or just the engine?
The whole car. They sell the whole car. They've done this for years but it was the Challenger before. It was a drag pack. It has no VIN number.
Like the 1470 or whatever, right? Or
No. That's a trim that you can still drive on the road. These don't have VIN numbers. They're not street legal cars. It's a direct connection product you can buy from them.
Okay.
That's hundreds of thousands of dollars. And you can bring it, you tow it on a trailer, bring it to a drag strip, you race it, you tow it home. You cannot drive it on the street. It doesn't have mirrors, doesn't have light. I mean, maybe it has lights, but
look at that.
But it fits.
It fits.
Do you know what is tickling my jimmies about this?
Please tell me about your Jimmies.
They've been experimenting with a 1,000 horsepower Hurricane 6-cylinder.
1,000 horsepower?
1,000 horsepower. Cat X. Because they had like the Cat 3 Hurricane, Cat 4 Hurricane.
Oh, category
for their crate engines. They had a Cat X they were developing with 1,000 horsepower. They had a Challenger drag pack. The last time they did the Challenger had the new Hurricane in there. I don't know how much power it made. They could have used the 6-cylinder here. With this is called the Hustle Stuff Charger. They could have used the 6-cylinder. They could have used it for this drag vehicle you can buy from Dodge. They chose, it was a conscious decision, to experiment with putting a Hemi in this car. They could have used the 6-cylinder. And if they were wanting to drive up the hype of the 6-cylinder, that's what they would have done. We made one of our drag pack cars with a 6-cylinder. Look at that. It's every bit as good as a Hemi. Mm-hmm. They would have done that. They didn't do that. They did something that was, I think, a lot more difficult, and they found a way to fit an aluminum Hemi in there.
I can't get over the fact that it's aluminum.
Yeah.
I know the Hemi just refers to the heads.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's an aluminum block. I don't know what the heads are made of, but
probably
I assume aluminum heads,
aluminum magnesium blend, yeah.
There's no official horsepower numbers on this, but apparently it makes in the neighborhood of 1,500 horsepower. Yeah, it's pretty wild. How many pounds of boost?
The 5.7 can only handle 7 pounds of boost.
I don't think this is a standard 5.7.
No, well, I mean, different block entirely, but wow.
Yep.
So that is a huge amount of boost.
So this is underneath. You see, this is not a street legal car at all, right? Some things I noticed, how beefy those rear axles, first of all. Second, that radiator is slanted back, which I think is partly because the nose gets so pointy toward the front. And then obviously these headers, collectors
just dump to the ground.
Yeah. So this is not a vehicle you can buy from Dodge and go drive around. They've made these drag track toys, right? Ford has made them, Chevy has made them, Dodge makes them. But this is the first year they're using a Charger, and they decided to work with a V8 and not their 6-cylinder, which I think is a conscious decision that was very intentional. Because if you're going to be making this car anyway, one of your drag packs to sell to people, why not use this as an opportunity to tinker under the hood with a V8? Not only can you fit a V8, you can slap a 3-liter Whipple supercharger on top.
That's huge. That's big. That's bigger than a Hellcat. Mm-hmm. Hellcat's 2.4 or 2.3 liters.
Despite how big this is and how heavy it is, a lot of it's carbon fiber. Doors are carbon fiber, hood, front fascia, rear deck lid, roof. It's all carbon fiber. This actually weighs 100 pounds less than the Challenger drag pack.
That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
So what is this? 4,000 pounds?
I think these vehicles are pretty light. These are ground up race drag strip.
This
toys.
has more in common with a NASCAR than than a road car. Got it. So there's no interior whatsoever. So these are probably 34 then. Do they not say?
what,
weight?
30? Oh, I don't know.
3,400 pounds.
I don't know how much it weighs, but they said it's 100 pounds less than the Challenger. You know, the Challenger, if you put these side by side, the Challenger is quite a bit smaller than this, which is crazy because the Challenger's a big car. All that nonsense about it not fitting, you can forget that. And it's not even a dry sump either.
No?
No, which you assume because of how low it is, you would have had to move the oiling system somewhere else, but no.
It does look like a Hot Wheel. Mm-hmm. It's kind of what we all want.
And it sounds so good.
Do you have an audio
I
clip?
don't, but it sounds so good. It's finally, it's like, that's what's missing from this car. Finally. I feel like it's okay to like it. You know what I mean? It's doing a burnout, and it's launching, and it's just this roar of a V8 engine, and it's like, oh, that's what was missing from this car.
Mm. Does it look cooler now knowing it is a V8?
Yes. It looks, as you're hearing it, it looks so much cooler.
People have been divided over the looks. I've, from minute one, loved the way this car looks.
I think it looks pretty good. At SEMA this year, they introduced SEMA Scat Pack, which has some new bits that are, if previous SEMAs or anything to go off of, a lot of these will eventually make it to, in some form or another, options on future
Wasn't
models.
the wide body a SEMA thing first?
Maybe it was, but they can't go any wider with this unless they put marker lights on it, because it's already as wide as it can be.
Which would be pretty cool.
That could be cool. That could be cool.
Pretty cool with a V8 wide body, like a true wide body with real wide body panels, not stick-ons.
I mean, these are wide body panels.
I say we spend 12 of that $13 billion on the Charger.
This has some carbon fiber bits. That's actually a carbon fiber hood with purple decals. Carbon fiber roof, carbon fiber rear deck lid, and the spoiler's pretty neat. Rear spoiler. Brass monkey rims, new paint. These are the two most flattering angles of this car. The straight-on side angle, I think, is the worst because you can see how big that gap is between the end of the door and the rear wheel. Mm-hmm. These angles, it's not quite as obvious. It uses the high output 550 horsepower inline six. This is not a Hemi car. Catback exhaust. I don't know if I'd want that. Cold air intake and a 1-inch lowering kit.
I don't know. A straight six sounds pretty cool, but a turbo straight six doesn't.
Yeah.
Sounds muffled.
These are functional vents here in the front.
For brake cooling.
Which could be something they maybe bring to like a future Hellcat or special edition high performance. So, yeah, Charger is finally getting some love. Okay. Quick question for you. Stellantis North America, their sales this year are up about 6%. Pretty good. Considering. It's pretty good. There is one Stellantis North America vehicle that is not up 6% in sales. Year over year, it's up 500%. They sold 6 times as many this year versus last year.
Is it a Charger? Because they only sold like 10 last year.
That you're thinking of the right thing.
Is it a Hornet? Because they only sold like 11 of the Hornets.
Those are 2 good guesses.
It's not going to be from Dodge.
It is from Dodge.
What? They're still on the lot?
This time, Q3 2024.
Didn't we do this about the Dart?
They sold 1 Dart last year.
A 2016?
A 2016. Or maybe even older. Who says it was a 2016?
Yeah.
They sold 1 this quarter last year. They sold 6 this quarter. 2025, they sold 6 Dodge Darts.
To who?
That's more than they sold all last year. I didn't know there were 6
left on lots.
That's 9 years ago. If you don't know, they stopped making the Dart in 2016. Mm-hmm. They've not made the Dart since 2016. So the only way they could have sold 6 new Darts this quarter, they've been sitting there on that lot for the better part of a decade.
They had to be used as dealer. No, because then the dealer purchases them. They can't be new sales if the dealer uses them as rental cars.
Right? They're new sales for the Dodge Dart.
Who?
No, I don't know.
Who?
Those things have been on the lot for so long. For reference, when these vehicles, the lots they sold from, when they arrived at those lots, Obama was still in office.
Yeah.
For reference. Think of everything that's transpired since then. We had an entire pandemic. 2 American elections since then.
Yeah.
Presidential elections.
3.
3, yes. These cars have been on that lot this whole time, just sitting there.
There's been a dozen wars.
Yeah. Wars have started and ended.
They just sat there.
That is a 26, or they might not even be 2016s. They could be 2015, 2014s.
I had a 2016 Dart, and I couldn't keep it out of the shop after 37,000 miles. And I work on cars.
So who knows? Here's to selling even more Darts next year.
How?
And the year after that.
With just like an endless supply.
How many of these are left?
How many barns are there in the U.S. to find them in?
We talked about this like early on in the podcast, like a year and a half ago, and I was like, man, that's got to be like
how'd they sell 3 of them? How did they sell 3?
And here we are a year and a half later, and they sold 6 this quarter.
Yeah, that's insane. That's absolutely insane.
All right.
This looks like a Tacoma with a Ram badge.
How do you know what I typed into ChatGPT?
Did you really?
Something to that effect.
Okay.
So yeah, 2027 midsize Ram truck has been confirmed. Ram's officially confirmed the midsize pickup for North America. It's basically confirmed that this has nothing to do with the Dakota in South America, and we don't know that officially they're using the Dakota name. I think they should.
I also think they should.
Ram has been absent from this segment since 2011, so 16 years. Right?
Or maybe there's still some on the lot. Who knows?
Maybe.
Who knows? Maybe there's still Dakotas just sitting there waiting to be purchased.
Yeah, 14 years. It'll have been 16 years by the time this new one comes out.
Yeah, that high output 4.7 is what you got in the 2011s.
Oh, wow. Yeah, it'll be built in the Ohio Toledo assembly plant, and it will use a body on-frame architecture, which we basically assumed. Name's not yet confirmed. The competitors start in the mid-30s, roughly. Speaking of Ram, though, I didn't have a slide for this because this is fresh news. The CEO of Stellantis, worldwide Stellantis, said like yesterday or the day before that Ram is getting 2 SRT products. We already know what one of them is, or going to be. The return of the TRX.
Right.
That's going to be one. I'm assuming. One's got to be the TRX. What else are you going to do? You know, the other, I think, will be...
Oh, a TRX Dakota.
An SRT Dakota.
Yeah.
Which is like, that's so cool.
That would be
so cool.
That would outsell the Ranger Raptor. I've seen a couple Ranger Raptors, and they are cool. But
they're cool.
The Raptor name is like they put it on so many things now. It just doesn't feel as cool. I see Raptor Broncos like every other day.
They wouldn't put a Hellcat
in the Dakota.
in the Dakota.
I can't.
Not even Dodge.
I can't dream that big.
They put it in the Durango, which before we had it would sound equally absurd in my mind. Now it doesn't sound crazy because we've had it for a few years, but rewinding to your mindset a few years ago, if you said, is it more likely to put a supercharged Hemi in the Durango or the Dakota? I'd be like, both of those sound crazy.
Equally stupid. Yeah.
They're getting 2 SRT. Ram's getting 2 SRT products. Yeah. And Ram is getting their own SUV.
Oh, really?
Not a Dodge. So there's a chance the new Durango will be a Ram Durango, not a Dodge Durango.
Oh, and then Dodge focuses on the muscle car aspect where they may at some point get a Barracuda. You got a slide on that?
No.
How fast would you drive away from that dog in your new Dodge Barracuda?
No. I love my Cuda.
Yeah.
It's cool. The new one could have everything I ever wanted. It's impossible to capture that same level.
No, I'm saying have both.
Oh, yeah. No, I'd love both, but I'm not allowed to have 2 cars. There's no reality where I'm still married, where I have
2 muscle cars.
2 muscle cars, yeah.
You saw this. This is a 650 horsepower, 5.7 supercharged Ram. Mm-hmm. Okay? This isn't a production one from Ram. This is a production one from Fox Performance Vehicles.
A tuning house
that
they work with.
Just like you've seen Shelby vehicles, you've seen Celine, you've seen Roush, you've seen all of these tuning houses mostly working with Ford. but this is Fox Performance, like Fox shocks. You've heard of Fox off-road shocks, I'm sure. This isn't a production vehicle, so don't get your hopes up too high. This isn't from Ram, but you can just go buy one. There doesn't seem to be a limit on how many they're going to make. You can just go put your name down. There will be probably a long wait time to go. Basically, they go get one and then modify it at Fox.
What's powering it?
That is a 5.7 Hemi with a supercharger, making 650 horsepower, which is why it's called the DC650. This is a partnership with Direct Connection. So Direct Connection will do the upfitting with Fox. It will be warrantied, but rather than now, I don't know if you knew this, but Ram now has a 10-year, 100,000 mile warranty. They only do the 3 or 36. Not putting a whole lot of confidence on Fox's name there, because as far as I know, the Shelby Fords are still warranted the same way, but maybe I'm wrong about that. I don't know. Anyway, they're only warranted for 3 or 36, not the 10-year, 100,000.
What else is different about this than the standard?
It's
Ram?
lowered 5.5 inches in the front or in the rear, and then 3 inches in the front. So it's sitting lower. It's got the new front fascia. It's got the highlights of color. It's got the bulging hood to make room for that huge supercharger, which they have not said how big it is, but to go from 390 to 650 is a freaking boatload of pressure. So they had to have done something to that 5.7 to take more than 7 or 8 pounds of boost, which if you want it to last any amount of time, you don't go over 8 pounds of boost on a 5.7. They just blow themselves up. The rear main bolts just don't hold up, and you would have to do all new rotating assembly, new crankshaft, new connecting rods, new pistons. You have to do all of it. It's just anyway. They would have to do all of that to this engine. So it's not just a supercharger and a body kit. It's a completely redesigned 5.7 Hemi as well.
Wow.
In a world where 18 months ago we were all just in the doldrums about
Pouring one out for the 5.7.
for the 5.7 being gone forever. But here we are.
Yep. Still making them. What's
Why?
the pricing on this?
Starts at $89.9, and then with all the options, it goes up to like $96. So there's not that many options. It's basically leather seats, a tonneau cover. That's something else.
That's Ram TRX money.
Yeah, but this is not for off road. This is
like a street TRX.
Yeah, it also has functional hood vents. It's got MagnaFlow exhaust. Still maintains the 11,000 pound towing capacity, even though it's at a lower ride height. Thank you, Fox Shocks. And it's a bellwether. It tells us what direction we're heading. The fact that this is a partnership with Direct Connection, just like that dragster, it's a bellwether. It tells us we are heading in the right direction with Dodge.
Well, and they're not using the Hurricane engine.
Yeah.
Which is a very capable engine. They could have used it, but they're not.
They're not.
I'm not going to spend too much time on this. The Grand Cherokee has an update, so you can see here there's some new things about it, some new styling cues in the front and rear, new grille, refreshed headlights, updated rear styling, lower fascia tweaks. It's got updated screens, bigger screen, bigger infotainment system is standard. It keeps the plug-in hybrid, the 4xe, which has been pretty popular. That output is 375 horsepower, 470 foot-pounds of torque, but they're replacing the 3.6 liter Pentastar as the base engine with a 4-cylinder Hurricane, not the 6-cylinder Hurricane.
Yeah, same combustion architecture, same cylinder architecture. So almost always when they're designing a family of engines, they're designing an intake plenum with a combustion chamber design, because they want to have maximum turbulence to mix the air and fuel properly over the valves, and then whether they're doing port or direct injection and all that. So they have to design the cylinder. And then once they've got that down and it can pass the emissions it needs to pass, then they just copy paste for as many cylinders as they need. So the Hurricane 6 and the Hurricane 4, of course, they won't have parts that will swap between, but they will be largely structured the same, largely similar in internal architecture and all that, which is why they share a name, even though they're completely different cylinder counts.
Yeah. Yep. 324 horsepower, 332 pound-feet of torque.
Which is a 20 horsepower bump from the
Pentastar.
3.6, yeah.
Yep, exactly. So very capable. It's a revised version of the GME power plant. It's the engine family used in Alfa Romeo products. So there's some sharing of development there.
And they're known for reliability, so that's good.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, this new engine supposedly is going to become the new corporate standard, but like 3.6 was. Apparently, this 4-cylinder Hurricane engine with 330 horsepower is going to become the new like standard engine.
Yeah, that means that if they go to like some entry-level car, it's going to be not expensive to throw in a 330 horsepower engine that's a 4-cylinder into a entry-level vehicle,
Yeah.
right? If they have the economies of scale because they're putting it in everything.
New Dart?
Yeah, a new
New Dart?
They're up 600%, Mason. Why would they need to refresh it?
Yeah. So that's more of the news here is that new engine is replacing the Pentastar.
What, really?
Staying on the Jeep, the Wagoneer is dead.
The Grand Wagoneer staying.
Grand Wagoneer is staying, and it is covering both price segments.
Because the Wagoneer was like 70 to 90, and the Grand Wagoneer is like 90 to 110, right?
I think they're trying to reduce the confusion between the two models because
they look almost identical.
Yeah. Now just the Grand Wagoneer and Wagoneer S, which is a completely different car, actually closer to the Charger than to the Wagoneer. The standard Wagoneer nameplate will be discontinued after 2025. It will consolidate under the higher tier Grand Wagoneer name. Grand Wagoneer will move down market and will cover the territory of the outgoing Wagoneer just in time for the 2026 refresh of the Grand Wagoneer.
It hasn't even been around long enough to get a refresh?
It's getting a refresh for 2026. And it looks like that.
Oh, that looks like an EV. People aren't going to buy that. It doesn't even have the 7-slot grill.
It does.
It has a facsimile of a 7-slot. Well, it's got 8.
If you're looking at between them, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
If you have to search for it, then it doesn't have it as far as brand identifiability.
I like it though.
I don't like it. I don't hate it as a design. I think I'm agnostic toward it. It's fine. As a Jeep, you don't look at that and go, "Oh, it's Jeep." Where if you go back to the other one, that's a Jeep. You know that's a Jeep immediately.
Yeah. Do you know what's also interesting about this refresh? What does it say on the front here?
Wagoneer. And it says Jeep.
Which tells me the Wagoneer name was stronger than the Jeep name before. But after hundreds of thousands of Wagoneers in service bays, now the Jeep name is stronger than the Wagoneer name.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what that tells me.
Basically, if you bought a Wagoneer or a Grand Wagoneer, it was in the shop regularly.
If you bought a Wagoneer, you know where your nearest Chrysler service station is.
You know them well, and they
know them by name.
Yeah, you know the service guy at the counter, and you know what he likes for lunch, so you can get your car back sooner.
Similar to the Bronco. Bronco had such a stronger, visceral name recognition than Ford did. So there's very few Ford, if any, badges on the Bronco. It's all Bronco. It was the same deal with the Wagoneer. People had these fond, rugged, strong memories associated with Wagoneer, Grand Wagoneer, that eclipsed Jeep. Apparently, it only took them a couple of years to
tank that,
mess that up.
Yeah.
So now Jeep is, I'm just speculating, but they were careful not to really add a ton of Jeep logos on the Wagoneer, where now it's right on the front. So it has a modern front fascia, slimmer headlights, more compact 7-slot grille. Interestingly, yeah, the Jeep name replaces Wagoneer. Higher quality materials throughout, new leather options, upscale wood inlays, upgraded ambient lighting, bigger screens, improved infotainment, larger heads-up display, and the biggest change, which I think you're going to like, is the drivetrain.
Is it an E-Rev? Hey. I mean, it's got all the room, and it can't get any less reliable, so it's like there's only one way to go.
Not only is this an E-Rev, this will be Stellantis' first E-Rev. This is jumping the Ram E-Rev.
Really?
This will be on sale for 2026.
No.
Is jumping ahead.
So like hitting the market in the next
mid-2026.
6 months, 7 months.
Yeah. It's an extended range electric vehicle variant, battery-based electric drive with a gasoline generator on board. For those that don't know, an electric car with a gas generator that powers the batteries, charges the batteries.
It's going to have the efficiency of a Grand Cherokee, turbocharged Grand Cherokee.
Probably with the acceleration of a Trackhawk.
no, even more comparable, the acceleration of a Escalade V Blackwing.
Yeah. 150 miles on a charge if you're going pure electric, but if
That's
you're
the same as the
Ram.
the Ram, yeah.
Exactly. And 500 miles of total range with the generator. So not quite as much as the Ram. The Ram was closer to 600. 647 horsepower, 620 pound-feet of torque. Likely sub 5 seconds 0 to 60. Will be available second half 2026. It will beat not only the Ram Rev, but also the Scout Traveler and Scout Terra, which are the other E-Revs that are on the horizon. So this will be the first one.
The first one to market.
First one of these kind of new generation of E-Revs.
Tim Kaniska said that this is before the electric one was cut, but he said the Ram Charger and the Rev were
Ready to go.
ready to go, but backburnered because they couldn't produce enough Hemis to sell them. Mm-hmm. They couldn't produce enough Hemi trucks. So they're like, well, if people are ordering the Hemis and we have to generate hype for these other ones, let's just sell what we can sell, and we'll put these other ones on the back burner for now. And if we need to generate hype again or need to really change things up, we've got them ready.
Yep. Yeah, so it will beat the Traveler and Terra to production. Have you heard a lot about these?
I've heard a bit.
So these are E-Revs, or at least they can be. They are all electric, but you can option them with a gas-powered generator as a range extender.
But can the gas-powered generator generate more power than you use while you're driving it?
Yes. It's a tiny four-cylinder, but it sits down by the rear axle, way back there. So you still, in whatever option you get a frunk.
I'm thinking about serviceability.
Yeah, that'll be a nightmare.
So this is the new Porsche 911 is what you're saying.
Yes.
It's a new Volkswagen
Almost
Beetle.
identical.
Yeah.
So International Harvester was an American brand. They made agricultural equipment primarily. Then they switched to automobiles. They made the
International Scout.
International Scout from 1961 to 1980. The company went out of business 1980 through a number of acquisitions. Volkswagen, of all people, ended up with the rights to Scout. International Scout, they shortened it to Scout and revitalized the brand in 2021 or 2022, somewhere around there. And they announced they're going to make competitors to the Rivian R1S, R1T. And you can see some pretty strong, like if you blur this image, these look fairly similar to the Rivian R1S.
This one looks
R1T.
more like an R3. And I know it's bigger than that, but in general shape, this looks more like an R3.
Proportion-wise, this looks exactly like the Rivian
Oh,
truck.
absolutely. It's exactly. Except it's not. The Rivian is unibody. And that...
Body on frame.
Mm-hmm. Which, I don't know if you heard about this, but getting a fender bender fixed on a Rivian, do you know how much that costs?
A lot.
Because the fender does not detach. The fender that goes around the tailgate is the whole body, just like a Honda Ridgeline or whatever.
So they replace the whole thing.
Yeah. Basically, you have to actually take a grinder or a body saw and just cut the body, which is also the structure of the vehicle, off, and then rebuild the vehicle.
Yeah. Yeah, this is body on frame. These are fairly off-road capable vehicles here. Locking diffs, 35-inch tires, the whole deal. On electric alone, they will go 350 miles. If you get the range extender, they'll go over 500 miles, which is pretty good. They're also 800-volt architecture, NACS plugs.
That's the big one.
350 kilowatt charging capacity, 1,000 foot-pounds torque, 0 to 63.5 seconds. I mean, all the typical EV stuff we've actually kind of gotten accustomed to now. 10,000 pound towing capacity. For the truck, the SUV, it's a little bit lower, 7,000 pounds, and 2,000 pounds of payload or cargo for either one. Both, this is probably the most exciting thing for me. Both of these you can get with a front bench seat.
Oh, really?
How cool is that?
How does that pass safety standards? Oh, they're light trucks. They don't have to.
Which for EVs, like, why not?
Why wouldn't you?
Why not? Yeah.
My 07 Dakota has a front. My 07 Dakota has 6 seats. My minivan has 7.
Pretty cool. And a cabana top. Which is pretty. You can get a cabana top.
Oh, like a fabric
Yeah, and it like rolls the fabric back.
for you. Wow.
It's pretty cool. Around 60,000 and be available later in 2027, apparently. Volkswagen and Rivian actually have a partnership now, so they do a lot of software sharing. They have a partnership where they both split 50-50
Very cool. I like it.
Yeah, very cool.
Edison Motors.
We got some updates here.
Yes.
So why don't you talk about what you've heard, and I'll fill in.
So I don't know the specifics. I've been watching I watch their podcasts. I'm a member for them on YouTube. Thank you for turning me on to Edison because it's been like my favorite thing to follow lately. They delivered their first truck. They delivered their very first truck to the customer. It is their undisclosed truck to their undisclosed customer who is extremely secretive for reasons we don't know why. It's also white, and people are speculating because they're going to repaint it anyway to whatever their corporate colors are. And it's going to Saskatchewan. And again, they were not willing to say whether or not the truck would even stay in Saskatchewan. They were just saying, we are delivering it to wherever we are delivering it in Saskatchewan. That's part of their video is where they're driving, right? And he said, the company or entity or organization that will take possession of this said truck may or may not be in Saskatchewan. It may or may not be going to a third party to deliver it somewhere else. And the whole point is apparently they've had worry that people are going to camp out on the side of the road and watch for this truck to drive by on a flatbed and then follow them to find out who owns. Like apparently there's been that much excitement. And it happens to be that their first customer is extremely secretive and extremely intent on not letting slip what they're doing. And the reason why the customer said they have to be this secretive is because this truck is expected to be such a game changer for their industry that they don't want to let slip that that's the direction the industry is going yet.
They want to
maximize their first mover advantage.
Yeah. Yep. Exactly.
They want to maximize their first mover advantage. I imagine they're going to keep it a secret as long as possible, but the undisclosed truck does not look anything like this. It is a complete clean sheet design for what they needed. Mm-hmm. And people have speculated all over the place for who it's for.
I think it's for logging.
Could be. Heck, it could be for anything. It's long though.
For those that don't know, Edison Motors creates kind of what we were just talking about.
Oh, sorry. I just got into it. I didn't even explain.
I'm just going to give a quick tidbit. So Edison Motors, Canadian company, kind of a startup, I think definitionally a startup. They're making these diesel electric trucks. That's the way trains work. So you have a big generator that drives an electric drivetrain that moves the train along. This is basically a train for the road.
Train with rubber wheels.
The plus side to that is you get all the benefits of electrification, loads of torque, loads of power, but none of the range anxiety because you have diesel on board to charge the battery up. That's the whole premise. Edison is making these. If everything goes according to plan, these things could cut gasoline costs by up to 70%, which is insane. Insane in an industry where you're operating on sometimes paper thin margins. That kind of cost savings when fuel, which is a huge cost.
To run one of these trucks across the country is $2,000 just in fuel.
Just to move it, just to move the truck.
Let alone all the expenses of loading and
insurance and paying the driver
and DOT and
way stations and tolls.
Do you know that because these axles are slightly modified train axles, if they could get the axle, the metal themselves, theoretically, if they could get the metal axles themselves to hold up, there's enough torque on board to spin all of the rear tires with 150,000 pounds on the back.
That's so wild.
It would break the metal components before the tires would spin because of all the friction. But if theoretically they could keep the metal components to hold together, they could do it because they have the power on board.
The amount of power we're talking about, you have to reinforce things you wouldn't have previously thought you had to reinforce.
Yes, and they actually have a huge advantage in this because you don't notice it in a modern car, especially with modern engine mounts, but when you hit the gas in your car, I bet the whole car rocks left and right a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The engine definitely, if you have the hood up, you can see the whole engine kind of...
Right, and as a result, it's actually twisting the body the opposite direction. The chassis twisted off the line. Mm-hmm. You know, the line. Anyway, so a lot of these trucks have to be reinforced specifically for that, but they can take up the place of those reinforcements for other things because it is not being torqued along the length of the truck and then the energy being turned 90 degrees to the wheels, right? That torque is being generated in the same axis as those wheels. So I'm just super excited about how much progress they're making.
The problem they're having right now is they're having an issue getting the generators certified, right? for highway use specifically. And so they just went to Parliament. So they visited Parliament.
They've been to Parliament a few times now.
They had someone from Parliament, one of their elected representatives, down at their production and testing facility. That's where they're at. It's cheaper to build their own testing facility than to pay to get their generators tested and certified for road use.
Yeah.
So they're trying to get exceptions.
But they can't. But even then, there's no testing regime. So the problem is that the generator has to run at 1 RPM. But when you test it for on-road use, it runs at multiple
cycle
right
of RPMs.
So if you're going to use it on the road, it has to be run in cycles. But the generator's not supposed to do that. It's not going to pass because it's not designed for that. So you have to have a whole new testing regime,
Which doesn't exist.
So they thought, and everybody involved thought, and everybody that they talked to previously thought, that if you get it tested at a higher level of requirement for it to be a sitting generator, a standing generator, if it has to pass that, which is higher than that of a Cummins diesel or whatever you're going to put in this truck if it was a regular truck, then they should be able to just put it on the back and drive it. It already passes the Tier 4 final, which is, again, a higher standard than the engine they would otherwise use. So the Canadian government's like, no, you have to use the dirtier engine because for environmental reasons.
They corrected a misconception about that recently. Technically, Canada's Environmental and Climate Commission, or whatever their equivalent of the EPA is, they follow the American guidelines. So it's not necessarily the Canadian government. The Canadian government is doing whatever the United States is doing. There's tens of billions of dollars. Let me make sure I get that number right. Sorry, hundreds of billions of dollars of goods shipped on trucks between the U.S. and Canada every year. Hundreds of billions of dollars every single year. So it makes sense. You want to have your trucks that are crossing the border thousands of times a day. You want to make sure the standards are the same to avoid headaches and disrupting that very delicate supply chain and that revenue. So it makes perfect sense that they want to make sure whatever the U.S. is doing, Canada is doing, and vice versa. So it's not necessarily the Canadian government. It's that the U.S. or Canada, evidently, don't have a testing regime for that type of use case. Because this is new. This has been done on trains. This hasn't been done with trucks.
And you might be wondering, well, if they're running into such a problem, then why is it that Dodge is managing to do it? Well, the answer is that Dodge is using an on-road certified engine, and Dodge has the money to go and get this thing certified at 1 static RPM, or get it to pass that's an engine designed for a static RPM to pass at a multi-RPM level. So they've just got more resources to bring to bear.
They're using their Pentastar V6. That's in my minivan.
They're using the Pentastar V6 they've used forever. So that's basically going to be next to free to them.
Whereas Edison's using a generator that's not ever used for an on-road use case. Because on-road use case, you're revving up and down as your acceleration and your elevation's changing. But for this use case, it's a static RPM, whatever the most efficient thing is. And the battery and the motors are handling the variances in whatever power output.
And when we say this, we're talking about a drivetrain generator. There are generators to run air conditioning for cooled boxes. For refrigerated.
We're not talking about an alternator.
Yeah,
We're talking about a generator that operates the entire.
But there have been generators to cool an entire trailer for cooled products. Because you can't ship lettuce across the country and let it just get hot.
Yeah.
So there's those, and those are on-road generators, but an on-road powertrain generator.
All right. Vegas
Not really.
gets a Cybertruck police fleet, which I gotta say,
It's pretty cool.
I think those look pretty cool.
It's pretty-
As divisive as the Cybertruck is in appearance, at least.
I'm sure all this extra stuff really helps the efficiency.
Yeah. Who knew? You threw all this stuff to cover up the Cybertruck and it looks better. No, but seriously, these look pretty cool. They have a fleet of 10 of these.
10.
Fully outfitted. And these communicate directly they have a fleet of 10. So you see here, this was a ceremony where they, introduced all these vehicles to the Vegas police force. These actually integrate seamlessly with the drones that are already being used by the Vegas police force. You can see those.
Wow.
They work together so you can pursue, and if someone goes on foot, send the drone after them. And you can monitor the drone from the truck.
Wow, we're really getting to RoboCop, huh?
Right? Like, that's actually pretty freaking cool.
That is really cool.
Like, the future is now, like, that's pretty neat.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is an event they showed their, like, bomb disposal robots and their breaching robots and the drones and Cybertrucks. So, yeah, Las Vegas Metropolitan PD has deployed the world's first Cybertruck public safety fleet. 10 vehicles, fully equipped Cybertrucks have been assigned to their force. The vehicles have been outfitted by Unplugged Performance's upfit division. They feature police electronics, lights, sirens, PA systems, the whole 9 yards, the computer system. They are police vehicles. They're going to be used for police work on the roads of Las Vegas. They include partitions for criminals in the back, people that are arrested, push bars, rock sliders, pursuit suspension, and brakes. So these things will be capable off and on road. They integrate with the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department's remote drone first responders. So these are their drone first responders. Each truck will reduce the police force's operating costs by $10,000 a year. Each truck. So that's $100,000 a year they're saving in fuel and maintenance costs. And they didn't have to pay a dime for them.
Oh, did Tesla just give it to him?
No, a billionaire tech entrepreneur donated them.
Oh.
It was pretty cool.
So Elon.
Who knows? Who knows who it was? No, it's billionaire tech entrepreneur Ben Horowitz donated the vehicles. Friend of the Las Vegas Police Department. I wish I had a friend that would give me 10 Cybertrucks. That'd be cool.
$1 million worth of Cybertrucks?
Yeah. Oh, easily. Yeah, I mean, each of those is $100,000 before you put anything on it.
Yeah, upfitted for another $100,000. Mm-hmm. Yeah, $2 million worth of Cybertrucks.
I don't know. I think they're pretty cool.
Yeah.
I think they're pretty neat.
I wonder if you put in another $2 million for charging infrastructure. Or are they going to...
at the police station? Yeah, because you aren't going to be charging in a regular...
You might. I mean, they fill up at regular gas stations.
Yeah. Speaking of Cybertruck, the budget Cybertruck that we just talked about a couple months ago, it's already dead.
Really?
It's already dead. Not even 6 months old. They're not doing it anymore because of low sales. So this was their budget-friendly Cybertruck. Came in at a measly $70,000. Rear-wheel drive, no tonneau cover, a bunch of options missing. Still $70,000. As of October of this year, that trim's no longer available. Now the cheapest one is still all-wheel drive, and it's $80,000, which is a far cry. If you remember all the way back in 2019, this thing was going to be $39,900.
Yeah.
$39,900 for a Cybertruck. Whoa, that's so cool.
That was never going to happen.
Yeah. So more than, yeah.
That was prime time Elon blowing smoke.
Yeah. It was also going to be available in like 1 year. Shortly followed by the Roadster.
That's never happening.
So yeah, canceled due to poor sales. A basic trim on their more volume models might make more sense. This is more of a luxury, high upmarket vehicle.
Yeah, not a luxury, but like, yeah, it is a high-end.
If they did a basic trim on the Model 3 or the Model Y.
But then again, the benefit of the Tesla over other EVs is that you can still road trip them.
Well, they did come out with a standard trim for the Model Y and Model 3.
Instead of long range.
Yeah, there's a trim lower than that called the standard trim for both of those.
But that's always been the case.
No, these are new. The front fascia is new. There's no light bar in front for the Y. The rear is different. There's no glass roof. Or I should say, there is a glass roof, but they covered it for the budget model. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. If you look at it from the outside, it's still glass over the top. But on the inside, you can't see through it. It's covered with like a liner.
Headliner? Mm-hmm. You poor person.
Yeah, you don't get to see the sun. No sun for you.
Yeah, we take the sun away from the poor.
Yeah. No, that's a $5 subscription, and someone comes and takes the headliner off.
If you ever don't pay it, they just come and smash the glass.
So Model 3 and Model Y get a standard. It's more than just a trim. So they actually made some pretty substantive changes. I don't know that it's worth it for what you're saving, but like it looks different.
Well, for 321-mile range, is it significantly cheaper?
They have. It's like in the... I probably should have put the price on when talking about this new lower cost
price. Yeah.
Tesla. Correct me in the comments or I'll pin something below. But yeah, I want to say it's like in the mid to high 30s.
That's actually approachable for a lot of people.
Mm-hmm. Yep, still in the 30s, which was the original dream of the Model 3, was to be a $30,000 electric car. Now, no Model 3's ever
Been
cost that, but
Well, think about, would you rather have this? Because if this is 36, say, would you rather have this? Would you rather have the Fiat 500 electric for 30?
I'd rather have this.
Absolutely. The Fiat 500 electric gets like 160 miles.
Yeah.
This is a world's better vehicle for not that much different in price.
Yeah, 321 miles of range, respectable 0 to 60, 6.5 seconds, rear-wheel drive. Some other things you miss out on. Solid roof covers the existing glass roof. They removed the rear screen, the radio, the ambient lighting, and they reduced the speaker count. Both models have heated front seats, but they're not ventilated. The Model Y has a new center console with manually adjustable rear vents, which I personally would prefer. Honestly, I prefer not having a glass roof either.
Yeah.
I don't care for it. The Model 3 retains its original center console. The biggest problem for this car, though, are used Teslas.
Right, because they're so cheap.
Because they've
gone back up a little bit.
bit.
They were bottomed out. You could get a Model 3 Performance for like $23,000.
that was like less than 5 years old.
Yeah. And like 70,000 miles. For a little while there, when all the Tesla firebombing was going on, you could get them for nothing. A friend of ours got a Model Y Performance for like 31.
It's hard to...
And it had 30,000 miles on it.
Yeah. It's hard to buy this when you can get that for the same price.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
A Model Y Performance, a 2022 Model Y Performance for under 33 grand.
I think the biggest competitor to this car is going to be a used Tesla. Because if you want a Tesla, I mean, give it a couple of years, and these used standard trims
Will be the cheap ones.
will be on the used market. But for the first couple of years, people are going to be cross shopping a used Performance and a new standard. And I think the used Performance is such a better deal.
Yeah, especially because this is now the slowest one you can get at 6.6 to 60.
I honestly think, this is my conspiracy theory, I think this is more of a decoy sales tactic. I think it being in the 30s suddenly becomes approachable to people. It gets them looking at Teslas. And then they go, well, for $5,000 more, I get a glass roof, or whatever. Like whatever it is that attracts them to the higher trims. Because for me, for what you're missing out on, I don't know that this is worth it. It's at least more of a effort than the budget Cybertruck was. Like it was very much an afterthought, whereas this is more...
This is very intentional.
Very intentional.
And this is probably going to be the highest efficiency one that they have.
Well, it's probably going to be the lightest.
Mm-hmm. The lightest, it's only rear-wheel drive.
It is more of an effort, but I think if you really want to get something that's really, really cheap, you have to do it from the ground up. Like a Miata. If the goal is we want to make an affordable, approachable, really lightweight car, you're not taking some existing car and trying to mold it into that. You're only going to make that happen at its most intense level if you think about every decision as you're building the car from the ground up.
Every decision has to be
toward that goal.
When Gordon Murray was designing the T50, he brought a bolt they were planning on using to an engineer and said, this is unacceptable. It was a M12. And he said, first of all, it's not made out of titanium. And second, it's too big. There isn't a single fastener on that bigger than an M10.
Wow. That's crazy.
Every decision was made for weight.
So for an EV, if the whole purpose is to make a cheap, purposeful EV.
Yeah.
You have to think about it from its inception. What would that look like?
Slate. Oh,
So-
hey, look at that slate. You just kept trying to hit that segue and I kept interrupting you.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
Proof we don't talk about this beforehand. Speaking of purposeful, built-up, cheap EVs, you're going to hear about this every time because I love this truck.
The way I'm going to talk about Edison every time.
Yeah, I love this truck every single time I see it. The updates that we have more recently, they are back on the road. They're going from state to state. They don't have any announcements for any Arizona trips. I reached out to them. They said they will let us know. when they're coming to Arizona, and we're welcome to attend one of their events here.
Which we will totally do.
Which we'll definitely do. The most recent updates, though, for the truck itself, they confirmed a partnership with RepairPal. When they announced this truck, they said, you can do it yourself, or we will have an unnamed network of people out there that you can bring it to and do it. Who? I don't know. So now we know. It's going to be this network of...
RepairPal?
This network of mechanics, if you want to call it, who are going to be instructed on how to transform the slate into whatever it is that you want to make it. You bring the stuff to them, or maybe you get it shipped to them and they do it. So it's a network of 4,000 nationwide service shops who will do it, and the locations will be able to wrap, repair, and customize the slate truck if you don't feel comfortable doing it yourself. But they're developing this thing called Slate University, where they will teach you, kind of like if you've watched any guides on iFixit.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Kind of like that, and walk you through how to do it. But way simpler than that. Like, this is meant to be user configured. That's where the bulk of your savings, I think, is coming from. Because they're almost like IKEA furniture. They're flat shipping it to you. You put it together yourself, and you save all the money of having to ship
a big bulky item.
A big bulky item and paying for the manpower to put it together. You take on that cost, and you get to keep the savings, and you put it together yourself. And for something like this that's fairly modular, honestly, even if it didn't save any money, I would probably do it myself because I think that's fun.
Yeah,
I would enjoy that.
Me too.
Confirmed they will have access to Tesla supercharging network, which has 25,000 stations across the country. So those are the two updates. RepairPal, and you can use these as superchargers.
Nice. Yep. Awesome. Because this would be dead on arrival at CCS.
Oh, yeah. Which they were originally.
Yeah.
The early prototypes were CCS.
Tesla really won big on that one because every electric vehicle from here until eternity is going to be paying Tesla no matter who makes it. Because they get a cut off of every penny paid through a Tesla supercharger.
That and emissions credits.
But those are going away.
Yeah.
Speed rounds. You got any of these?
I have a couple, but most of these are yours.
Okay. Cover cars. These are for me. These are yours?
These are yours.
Okay, so this next car comes from a movie. What movie?
James Bond.
Yep, what James Bond movie?
Well, one of the Daniel Craig ones, but...
This is the DB10. This is the only DB10. Remember, they went from the DB9 production to the DB11. Mm-hmm. The DB10 is this one, and if you want to get your hands on it, it last sold for a few $1 million. They made, I think, 7 for the movie.
Casino Royale? No, newer than that.
Because that was the DB9.
Yeah, that was DB9.
Or no, DBS.
Quantum of Solace?
Nope.
I don't know.
That Quantum of Solace took place immediately after
Casino
Royale. So he just went from one nonstop action thrill ride to the next. This is from Spectre.
Yep, there it is.
Yep. Coming soon in 2013 or something.
That's cool. I honestly like what we got in DB11 more than that. I actually don't like that very much.
I like that one way more.
You like this one?
I don't like the DB11 or the DB12. I like the DB9 and the DBS the best.
It looks cheap in the front. Like the front grille looks...
I disagree.
Looks like a concept.
It doesn't need any extra stuff around the grille. It has the shape. It has what it needs. It's elegant.
It is elegant, yeah. Well, that's cool. Oh, gosh. BMW Z8.
Yeah. Now, this is very famous for being in a specific movie because normally this person was associated with a much different kind of car.
This Z8?
In this color.
What, Austin Powers? I don't know.
No?
I don't know.
The person who normally drives an Aston Martin.
Is it another James Bond?
Good. The world is not enough.
Oh.
Pierce Brosnan. It was a really big deal that BMW got in place of where an Aston Martin should have been. But yeah, go back. These little things here on the side, the vents, in the movie, they come out and have machine guns on them.
Oh, yeah. That's right.
So anyway, the Z8, it was a big deal at the time that BMW did that. And it added, I didn't know, this thing had almost 400 horsepower.
Really?
Yeah.
Doesn't look like it weighs much. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Wow. All right.
Soviet T-55.
Tora? No, that was Pearl Harbor.
This person is normally seen driving a much different vehicle.
Oh, is this James Bond again?
Yes. This is GoldenEye.
That's hilarious.
This is Pierce Brosnan chasing Dr. What's his name through the streets of, I don't even remember where.
Wow.
Yeah, but drove.
Was that on the cover?
Yeah, I don't know if it's on the cover, but it's closely associated. It's very strongly associated with GoldenEye. The tank chase scene. That's a very famous scene. So anyway, yeah, those are all James Bond. I just went with increasingly obscure.
James Bond cars. That's
Yeah.
funny. All right, these are yours for me.
20 questions to guess the car I'm thinking of. Go.
Is it currently on sale?
No.
Was it on sale after the year 2000?
Yes.
Was it on sale after the year 2010?
Yes, after 2010 for sure in some places.
Is it an American market vehicle?
Yes, it is.
Is it an American made vehicle? As in a vehicle made by one of the American car companies that I think of when I say American.
Yes.
It is. Is it a sedan?
Can be. I wasn't
A
looking
Ford
at
Flex.
a Ford Flex is a horseless carriage.
Okay, so it can be a sedan, American made, definitely after 2000, after 2020 in some places. Is it made by the Chrysler umbrella,
No.
the Ford umbrella,
No.
the GM umbrella?
Yes.
Okay. More than two doors?
It can.
Was this a sedan that was also sold as a coupe?
Yes.
Are you saying this is a sedan that also can be considered a coupe, or there was a two-door and four-door version of this vehicle?
The latter.
Okay. A GM product that was sold in a two-door and four-door variation. Was it sold here after the year 2015?
No.
Is it considered a sporty vehicle?
Are you saying originally or the coupe version?
Either.
They marketed it with sporting intentions. Yes.
Is it okay? So it wouldn't have been one of the defunct brands then if they kept selling it.
You're correct.
I didn't ask a question.
Dang it.
I said a statement, and
You're the worst.
you decided to provide input, which I'm grateful for. But I did not ask a question. The segment is 20 questions. So.
Yeah, the segment is 20 questions and going to take 20 minutes.
Okay, so is it a Chevy?
Yes. The Corvette's a
Is it
four-door.
a Cobalt?
It is a Cobalt.
Nice. Cobalt.
The
Nice.
two-door version doesn't look as bad as I remember.
I think it's cool. It's got double round taillights. Look at that.
Yeah. I didn't know this, but you could get naturally aspirated and supercharged, and you could also get a turbocharged version. And in 2010, they stopped selling it here. 2011, 12, 13, they kept selling it in other markets. But when that happened, the last year of this, they offered a turbocharged version with almost 250 horsepower. Front-wheel drive.
Oh my gosh.
With no like fancy trick diff that Honda came up with 10 years later.
So torque steer like crazy.
Yeah, directly into a hedge. It actually had hedge steer.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's cool. Yes, that car. That is a Ford Focus.
It is a Ford Focus. Good job. You have a bigger photo, and then there it is, 2003 Ford Focus.
Nice. You impressed I got that?
What, did you put it on yours for me?
No.
Okay.
No, but that would happen.
Yeah, we absolutely would.
No, I had this car on one of the Need for Speed games, I think. So
Yeah. I remember how ugly this is, and the fact that it shares a marker light with the Lamborghini Gallardo.
Yeah.
So
Murcielago, I think. Either
I would put dinner. I'll bet you dinner that it was a Gallardo.
I will bet you dinner was a Murcielago.
All right. One of us gets to eat dinner.
All right.
Find out in the comments that I'm wrong again.
I'm about to have free dinner. This night's turning out pretty great. All right. Dope or nope?
This is the 1990 Plymouth Voyager 3. And I know what you're thinking. Why is that a 6-wheeled Plymouth Voyager I'm staring at? But you're wrong. It's an 8-wheeled Plymouth Voyager.
I see another wheel on the bottom. Is that to keep it from bottoming out?
Nope. Go to the next picture.
Oh, it disconnects. That's right.
Isn't that wild? There's a 4-cylinder up here and a 4-cylinder back there.
Oh, I'm sure that worked flawlessly.
Uh-huh. And they connected electronically to synchronize, not mechanically.
Yeah, I bet that never had any
Yeah,
issues.
Chrysler Electronics from the 90s is great. They're famously known for
What is the benefit of disconnecting it?
because it's supposed to be that you get to your campsite and you can leave your thing, but it's open to the elements.
Yeah, you just leave it open.
And it's just 2 benches. So the question is, you
What
basically
do you do with it?
Yeah, you get to where you're going, leave most of your passengers and take your 3-seater and drive off and leave them there.
Oh, it's 3 seats in that?
Yeah, it's a bench 3-seat up here. Or no, sorry, it's 2. Maybe it's a bench, I forget. But it's 3 seats up here and then 3 and then 3. So it's a 9-seater, which you could get in other cars at the time. A bench up front and then 2 rows. But they did this whole contraption in 1990 to say this is what the Voyager 3 will be in the future. No.
As much as I'm inclined to say zany things like this are dope just because they're fun and out there, I don't see any way how that's useful.
Not even a little bit. Not even a little bit.
Yeah. So I'm going to say nope.
But the fact that they had a picture of it on the road in motion is kind of wild because I would expect that to be a non-driving thing.
The wheels like tuck up?
Yeah, I was trying to figure that out because the vehicle isn't tilted up.
No.
So the wheels have to be lifted unless they made a version that goes on the road and a version that parks here.
As just kind of a concept.
Yeah.
That's probably what they did.
Yeah. But yeah, that stupid little dinky car where the doors are like most of the length of the vehicle.
Looks like a smart car.
This is the future of family motoring where you can only fit 3 people with no airbags.
Kids piss you off, you can just ditch them on the side of the road
Yeah.
and just keep driving.
Just leave them. Leave them in motion. The other car will just drive itself off a cliff. There's no steering, just power.
No brakes.
Okay, this I've been so excited all day to talk to you about this. This is the Renault Raccoon.
Tell me more.
So this has central pivot suspension like the Warthog.
Oh. Okay.
I
Points toward the dope section.
have a whole list. We're going to go through the pictures and then I'm going to read you all the stuff that this thing has. But
It's 2-seater?
it's a 3-seater. 2 in the front, one in the back.
Of course it is.
Yeah, it's French, Mason. Yeah. You can't assume anything. This guy, the weirdest model to have pose, and also facing the wrong way.
He looks like he's lost in the middle of the desert.
Yeah, he's like, I found this, and my camel does not like it. This thing had 256 horsepower in a twin turbocharged V6 in 1992.
And it looks pretty small, like compact.
It is. It was like the crossover of the future. Apparently, they had a number of them, and they were functional.
Wow.
I don't know how functional, because there's a lot of promises made.
Yeah.
But it was never designed to be a production vehicle. It was only designed to be like a one-off, this is what we can do idea.
It's a very 90s interior, concept interior.
Yeah, it's a 90s idea. Oh my gosh,
Retro-futuristic.
Girl in space.
Xenon 2000, whatever.
Yes, Xenon. That's what I think of when I see this.
For sure.
Yep.
Oh my gosh.
Isn't that crazy? They
How
said
do you get in it?
You climb on the tire and then this thing over here. And this central pivot, that is where the suspension pivots, right in the middle. And I'm like, how do you keep it from just tilting forward onto the front or tilting backward? I don't know.
Because if I tried to make something like that, that's exactly what would happen.
It was just like
It would flop forward and backward. Yeah.
Yeah, it would be like a paraplegic you pushed out of a chair. It would just.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Anyway, sorry. This is the setup. But let me read to you while you stare at this picture. Let me read to you the things that it came with. First off, of course, infrared night vision. But that was really useful for while you were in the water because it's also amphibious.
I was going to ask if it's amphibious because it looks like it would be amphibious.
It is amphibious. It could go up to 5 knots. It has twin screws. So it's not just one to get you across the lake. It's 2. So you have like control.
Like directional control.
Yeah. And apparently, now, of course, this is French and from 30 years ago. So it was hard to find a lot of information on it. But apparently it was seaworthy. And by sea, probably a fairly sized pond, wherever they tested it. It was 3,400 pounds. It had a heads-up display. It had all-wheel drive, 6-speed manual, twin-turbo V6, 256 horsepower, and it had a functional ultrasonic windshield wiper. because there's no wiper there, right? And obviously you're getting water on it if you're getting in the water. It had vibration transducers is the word, positioned at the edge of the glass that would work in a wave to vibrate the water off one side. Apparently, this isn't the only vehicle that's been tested on, and it's been patented by multiple people.
Tesla was going to do that with the Cybertruck originally.
What were they?
Yeah, they wanted to not have that one big wiper. They wanted to do ultrasonic to get rid of the water, but
yeah, apparently no one's had made it reliable enough and functional enough. But apparently it was functional enough for a concept.
Wow.
But for me, dope.
I agree. How fast does this go that it needs a 6-speed manual?
That is a good question. That's probably the answer to that question is we had one.
Yeah, because I can't imagine wanting to go
that fast in this.
Quicker than like 30 or 40 miles an hour, which means why do I need to be rowing through 6 gears to go that fast? But wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, rear engined.
Totally dope. Very cool.
All right, cousin cars. Okay, Mazda Navajo.
Is it a Ford Explorer?
Specific kind, but yeah.
Like the 2-door?
Yeah, well, 3-door, but yes.
Nice. Ford Explorer 3. That's cool.
Yeah, the Mazda Navajo. And you can also see, you know how when you get something cheap, it has like a big old bezel around it? Like the headlights on the Ford fit perfectly in this body. And they had this big old like bezel and just shoved whatever Mazda headlights they had.
They look like the headlights from the Ford truck.
Oh, yeah, could have been.
Probably were.
Yeah. So anyway, those were like more bespoke headlights, and then these ones are just whatever they got to fit.
That's funny. Yeah. The Ford looks way better.
It does. New school versus old school. What is that?
Is that a Suburban?
It is a Suburban.
Original OG 1935, right? Something like that?
36, I believe. But yeah. And then there's a new one, also in red, facing the same direction.
I appreciate that. As much as I harp on modern vehicles being too complicated and I want like more simple, I don't know that I would go this far back.
No.
Honestly, my car is about as old as I think I'd want to go.
I mean, there were cars in the 60s that were pretty good.
Yeah.
Actually, I don't like yours because of all the emission stuff. I'd prefer to not.
I'm not a huge fan of the new one, but if I had the choice between the two, I'd probably if I had to have it and live with it, this would be easier to live with.
Probably. Common denominator. I love this one.
Common denominator. The goal of this segment, I'm going to show Jordan pictures of cars one after the other until he figures out what they all have in common.
Saturn Ion. Okay, so that is a Cobalt. You did end up showing me a Cobalt on accident. Hold on. Go back.
No.
I'm panicking. Go back. These are nothing alike. Okay. Oh my gosh.
Is there a single thing, a Saturn Ion and a Ferrari?
They both fill up on the right side.
I don't know. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, you got it. But we'll add this one in.
Oh, well, that fills up on the left side. Gosh dang it.
That is a good one, though, I should do.
No.
What?
No. This isn't okay, Mason. I don't like it.
I should never show these vehicles together.
These aren't the same, Mason. They're not the same. I'm staring at the lug nuts.
Oh, these are 6-lug.
Oh my gosh.
So you're looking for what's the same between a Saturn Ion,
a Ferrari
Purosangue,
and then a Toyota
Purosangue, I think is what it is.
So one is American, one's Italian, one's Japanese. Okay.
All right, should keep going.
No, don't. I don't want to know. I don't want to know. Why? Why?
These are all basically the same car.
It's a completely different propulsion system.
These are the same car.
Oh my gosh. Oh, I know what it is.
Huh.
Rear suicide doors.
You got it.
I bet the next one's going to be an RX-8. An element. Where's the RX-8? Show me the RX-8. Gypsy Sierra. Okay. But that one doesn't.
Oh, you're right. This one doesn't. But the one that does is the same.
It's the same size. Yeah. There's the RX-8.
There's the RX-8. You would have gotten it by this
I didn't know that on the Ion.
Yeah. It's almost impossible to see. But yeah. Rear suicide doors.
Opel Mervia. Oh, the handles give it away there.
The handles gave it away. That's what I
So you put that at the back at the end, yeah. A Rolls-Royce Phantom.
Yep, you got it.
Yeah.
By like number 4, I think.
Yeah.
Nice. Yep, rear suicide doors.
Blind ranking.
All right, blind ranking. So rank these 5 cars 1 to 5 without knowing what comes next. The segment is Mopar Classics. 1970 Challenger TA.
With a 346 pack.
346 pack.
That's pretty cool.
Built for the Transamerica Series, 1970.
That's pretty cool.
That's very cool.
See, these are all like equally cool to me. So I don't know. I don't know how to rank them.
I easily have a 1 to 5 for these.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Well, then tell me where do you put this? 4?
Yeah. I want to hear what you think, though. Where would you put the Challenger?
I would actually put the Charger probably at 4 myself.
The Challenger?
Or Challenger. Sorry.
Challenger at 4?
Challenger at 4. GTX 446 pack.
I think this might be my number 1.
Even over a Cuda. Roadrunner is more unique. You don't see them as often. So I'd put this at 2.
2?
Because I have a specific color and a specific trim of one car that I would probably put at 1.
Okay.
Which might
So
just
4 and 2.
71 Dart Demon. That's a 5.
It's cool.
It is cool, but it's still a 5.
1971 Plymouth Hemi Cuda.
Now, for a long time, that would have been my number 1, but I think it's my number 3 because I think what you've got coming up next is my number 1.
Okay.
If the next one is a 1968 Dodge Charger RT. Yeah, that's my number 1.
Yeah.
I would have it in black. Black on black on black.
Oh, yeah. For a long time, this would easily be my number 1.
I might do a 69.
You like the deviated septum in the front? I like the straight grille. The only thing,
It's pretty cool.
the only thing that moves this down a little bit for me is the vinyl top.
I don't mind a vinyl top.
If someone dropped this off in my house, I would be elated. I would have no complaints. But in a perfect world where I could choose, I would prefer not to have a vinyl top. And I think of this as so close in my mind to a GTX by comparison that just the fact that the GTX does not have a vinyl top, I would put this one above it. But honestly, as I've matured, I have grown to love this car.
I really do like the way it looks.
The
I
70s
love the
especially.
front grille.
It's so good. And you're right. It's not as common. And you know what? This was also made for the more mature muscle car. It was known as the gentleman's muscle car. And as I've gotten older, I've gained more respect for it. It used to be easy, 68 Charger, easy. Now not as easy.
I do like that GTX a lot.
Quiz time. What does FJ in the name FJ Cruiser stand for?
Freedom Joy.
That's
the new one.
Land Cruiser
Yeah,
FJ,
yeah.
not the FJ Cruiser.
I don't. I knew this at some point, and it could be that it doesn't mean anything, but it's like a chassis code or it stands for something Japanese. I cannot remember. Finish the Jersey, F engine Jeep, Freedom and Joy, Forever Japan. Because the original FJ Cruiser, they just stole everything from Jeep. I'm thinking F engine Jeep.
You're right. Exactly.
Yeah.
So, well, technically, the FJ Cruiser from the 2000s is not an engine, nor is it anything to do with the Jeep, but it's named after the Toyota FJ Land Cruisers, which were...
FJ is the generation.
Yeah. Well, it's the combination. Toyota Land Cruisers in the 60s, 70s, and 80s used an engine and platform designation. The first letter was the engine code. The second set of numbers was the chassis configuration, the platform. F engine were the inline 6 cylinders. The 2000s FJ Cruiser did not have anything to do with that, but they used the name FJ to harken back to it. So I would have accepted that as well. You're like, oh, they named it after the old FJ. Yeah, that's true. But they named the old FJ after
F engine Jeep.
F engine Jeep. And that's it.
Awesome.